everybody. My name is Lindsay Miller, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of wearing your seatbelt. How many of you can honestly say that you fasten your seatbelt each and every time that you get into your car? I think a large number of people, especially younger people, underestimate the impact this simple task can have on your life. Since the seatbelt law wasn't enforced primarily in Tennessee until 2004, most of you probably were not required to wear a seatbelt while growing up, therefore have not formed a habit of doing so. I know personally I never buckled my seatbelt when getting to my car. It was just so easily forgotten. However, my thoughts have changed since just last year one of my cousin's sorority sisters was thrown through her windshield and instantly killed when she slid on a patch of black ice in her car. It could have been avoided had she just been wearing her seatbelt. There are many reasons today that I feel that you should always wear your seatbelt. Three main issues that I want to talk to you today about why you should wear your seatbelt is that it is the law, it can prevent major injuries for you, and ultimately it can save your life. It is necessary for everyone riding or driving in a vehicle to always buckle your seatbelt. The first main reason I'd like to talk to you about why you should wear your seatbelt is that it is the law in Tennessee. Tennessee Highway Patrol officers are not likely to issue warnings or listen to excuses when pulling someone over for a violation of not wearing their seatbelt. I was pulled over just last month and probably would not have been issued a ticket had I been wearing my seatbelt. However, I was not, and they fined me $20 for this violation. Because of the severity and fatalities that are caused each year in Tennessee, officers take this violation very seriously. Not wearing a seatbelt in Tennessee is a Class C misdemeanor, and you can be fined up to $20. Although this may not seem like a lot of money for most of you, if the violation occurs continuously, it can cost you a lot more in the long run. Another reason I feel it is important that you should always wear your seatbelt is that it can prevent major injuries for you. The CDC website states that more than 2.3 million adult drivers and passengers were treated in emergency departments as the result of being injured in motor vehicle crashes in 2009. Many injuries in these crashes included fractured skulls or ribs, lung and cardiac contusions, and ruptured spleens and livers. Although these injuries may quickly heal, they could be so easily prevented if you just fasten your seatbelt. Another protection that seatbelts can have is to protect your head and spinal cord. A friend of mine's aunt a few years back was turned around looking in the back seat while her two young children were fighting and crashed her car. She was paralyzed from the chest down from this crash, and that could have been prevented if she'd had her seatbelt on. Her life will forever be changed because now she can barely even move her arms. Finally, the most important reason that I feel you should always wear your seatbelt is that it can save your life. John Schroer, the commissioner with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, states that seatbelts are the most effective safety devices in vehicles today, estimated to save 13,000 lives while 7,000 die because they don't use seatbelts. No matter how much of a hurry you get into, you should always remember to fasten your seatbelt. Your family and friends would rather see you arrive safely than have to come to the scene of a crash when you didn't make it because you weren't wearing your seatbelt. Many fatalities each year occur because of people not wearing their seatbelts. Do you want to be next? Also, more fatalities occur due to not wearing a seatbelt than any other vehicle-related crashes. The number of deaths caused over the years have been the reason that Tennessee now has the click it or ticket policy. To conclude, today I have discussed with you many reasons on why I feel it is important to wear your seatbelt. The top three that we have talked about is the law in Tennessee. It can prevent you from lifelong injuries, and ultimately it can save your life. If you have issues remembering wearing your seatbelt, if it's not a habit you have formed, one way you might be able to do so is to put a post-it note in your car, visibly seen each time you get in, that will remind you to put it on. Another way is if you have family or friends riding with you often, you can tell them to help remind you put it on too. Also, if you have small children, you can have them remind you. I have now got my 6-year-old daughter to tell me each time we get into the car to buckle my seatbelt, and it helps. It also is a great influence for them and can help prevent injuries in their life if they get used to putting their seatbelt on every time they get into a vehicle. Cars that are made today are not meant to fly, and neither do we, so always buckle up. Thank you.